Big high leg kick and delivers a fastball. Strike one, and this game is underway. Mike Estabrook calls the balls and strikes tonight. Brian Gorman at first, C.B. Buckner at second, Mike Everett the umpire at third. Bourne, a 285 batter with a home run and 11 runs batted in. Went 1 for 5 in the game last night after collecting 2 hits and a walk in the series opener. Reds interplay tonight, 5 games over 500. That's 3-1 now to Michael Bourne. And before any play at all began today, the Reds a game and a half out of first. Going into play today, the Brewers and Cardinals were tied atop the National League Central. St. Louis beat Milwaukee earlier today 3-2, and there's ball 4 to Bourne. Not the way you want to get it started. Take a look at the Reds defensively, presented by Ford. They'll go in Lance Nix, Willie Taveras back in the lineup in center, Jay Bruce in right, Adam Rosales, Alex Gonzalez, Jerry Hairston, and Joey Votto. Third to first with a battery of Bronson Arroyo and Ryan Hannigan. A rare off day for Ramon Hernandez here of late. He's either been behind the plate or playing over at first base.
And with Votto back, this will be the pure day off for Hernandez as Hannigan catches Arroyo.
Ball 1 to Miguel Tejada. Got to keep an eye on Michael Bourne over there at first. He leads the National League in stolen bases with 15.
But the kid behind the plate, Ryan Hannigan, if you give him any chance at all to throw, he will get it down there in a hurry. We've seen Hannigan, Tom, throw out a couple of base runners where we didn't think he had any chance at all.
1-0 the count on Miguel Tejada. There goes Bourne. Pitch taken. Throw down to second is not going to be in time. In the dirt, Hairston tried to snatch it out of there and put the tag on, but that's number 16 for Michael Bourne. That young man wastes very little time stealing once he gets on base.
Well, and that really helps out Miguel Tejada. Now Tejada elevates his energy at home plate, knowing that if he gets a base hit, he's got an RBI, and that's what Tejada gets paid for. Not defense, but offense. And RBIs, big time.
So now Bourne in scoring position with nobody out, just underway, and the 2-0 is a high bouncer over the mound, waiting the extra beat is Gonzalez, and still has time to throw out Tejada. But Bourne does advance on to third, 1 away in the inning.
It's a tough play for Alex Gonzalez. Very difficult to read that big, huge hop. He got in there on the grass in a hurry, caught it on the short hop. Tejada is no slow guy running down the first baseline, and he almost caught it and threw it to first base as if he was turning a double play.
So now Lance Berkman at 233, 10 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Berkman a home run and a double in a series opener. Had a triple, 2 walks, scored a run here last night. And we have told his tale against the Reds many times. 47 career home runs for Lance Berkman against the Cincinnati Reds. 20 of the 47 have come in this ballpark, which is most among all visiting players since the opening of Great American Ballpark. High fly ball into left field will bring the run in. If Nix can make the catch, he does. Here comes a runner. Bourne. It's 1-0 Houston. So the leadoff walk comes back to bite Arroyo, and the Astros score here in the opening inning.
Tom, I couldn't quite see exactly when Nix caught the baseball, but that was awfully close with Bourne leaving third base and then seeing the throw come in. And I see as Nix caught the ball on the replay where he caught it and he actually ran into the wall. So point taken.
Carlos Lee, first pitch swinging, down a strike. Well, you put Michael Bourne on base, and he is not going to be standing at first for very long. A very impressive base stealer. comebacker to Arroyo should end the inning. But the leadoff walk, a stolen base, a ground out, and a fly ball. 1-0 Houston with the Reds coming to bat. In center field, Jerry Hairston Jr. at second. Joey Votto is at first. Lance Nix bats cleanup for the first time in his career tonight. Jay Bruce in right. Alex Gonzalez at short. A ladder third of Adam Rosales, Ryan Hannigan, Bronson Arroyo. First time I can remember all year long where Dusty Baker has 3 straight left-handed hitters in his lineup. Felipe Paulino.
I think that's a pretty good time to do it when you've got a right-hander on the mound. This may not be a bad time to have Phillips in that number 2 spot. Let him run.
Ball 1 to Willie Taveras. He had the night off last night, a .273 batter with a home run and 8 runs batted in. Of course, you know, you can get into that debate ad nauseum. As that one is lined at Tejada, and he caught it in the air, 1 away. You know about stacking up left-handed hitters consecutively, and then what the opposing manager can do with a left-hander out of the bullpen later in the game. I had a lengthy conversation with Bobby Cox about 2 weeks ago on that very topic. He had 4 left-handed hitters in a row in his lineup, and I asked him about it, and he kind of looked at me and started snickering. He said, "I'm not worried about what they're going to do to me later in the game. I'd rather have those 4 left-handed batters in a row and just pound the starting pitcher, the right-hander, and knock him out of the game, and I don't have to worry about a left-hander coming in later." That's the idea.
If you're worried about the end of the ball game.
That ball launched into left field, and this bad boy is tied. 1 crack of the bat by Jerry Hairston Jr.
We're seeing him do that more and more on the fastball that's down and in that runs towards him. He is a low ball hitting machine. This ball is right down the heart of the plate. May not have even been a strike.
Sixth home run of the year for Hairston. Last year, when he was so good playing for the Reds, he had that same number of home runs, but over 260 at bats to get the 6 home runs.
Well, you can see Paulino still has that good fastball and good high velocity, but he is up in the zone and all over the zone. And that's what has hurt him over his last few starts. It's not that he's walking a whole lot of guys. It's just the fact that when he makes a pitch, it's up.
Well, here's Joey Votto. Swing and a miss. Of course, recently has been bothered by an inner ear infection. In the last 17 games the Reds have played, Votto has missed 12 starts, either with a flu or dizziness. 2 other times had to leave the game early. Leads the National League in on-base percentage and ranks among the league leaders in several other statistical categories. He is the second highest batting average in the league, behind Carlos Beltran of the New York Mets, who's at 367, and you see Votto at 364. Three and two now to Joey Votto. Three and two to the Reds' first baseman, and it's pulled to his counterpart, and that's out number 2. Let's take a look at Houston defensively, presented by Ford. Same outfield we've seen the entire series of Lee, Bourne, and Pence. Same infield we saw last night. Keppinger, Tejada, Mason at second, Berkman at first, and a night off for Pudge Rodriguez. Humberto Quintero hanging the signs for Felipe Paulino.
Well, I don't know what Pudge's numbers are against Arroyo, but they can't be any worse than Quintero's. He's 0 for 9. But I would imagine with that knee issue that we saw in game number 1, it may still be nagging at Pudge a little bit.
Of course, Votto got all the headlines with that tie-breaking home run in the 7th inning against Tim Burdick. But Lance Nix had a big home run leading off the 4th inning last night. After the Astros had taken a 3-2 lead, he tied the game up into foul territory for Keppinger, and the inning is over. The Astros score in the first. Hairston's long one ties the game at the end of 1. Lawyers for serious injuries will bring you up to speed on what's happened medically earlier today. Brandon Phillips out there taking ground balls, and you notice he still fields the ball with 2 hands. We asked Dusty Baker about that. You know, when you're out there, why would you still do that, risking injuring that throwing hand? The tip of the thumb that had a slight fracture has a slight fracture in it. He said that's Brandon Phillips. He's a 2-handed fielder, and he's got to practice it that way because that's the way he knows how to do it and will do it in the game. We'll know more on his condition when this road trip officially starts on Friday. Meanwhile, Edinson Volquez throwing under the watchful eye of Dick Cole, and he has pronounced himself fit and ready to roll and be activated on the next road trip. The Reds will have to make a decision as to what game they're going to start him. We know he will start, of course, barring any further setbacks, in that big 4-game series starting next Monday in St. Louis, Missouri.
And I think the big thing with Edinson Volquez is he's never been hurt before.
Hunter Pence knocked down by Gonzalez, and a throw is still in time to get him. What a pick by Votto over at first. Hey, that's another thing Votto, in such a short amount of time, has gotten so much better defensively.
Watch the quick reactions of the hands of Gonzalez. He bobbles it for a second, keeps his eye on the ball, uses his arm, and uses his first baseman, knowing that if he gets it in the area, Votto will pick him up. And that's what
cheerleading going on in that Reds dugout.
That's what you see all the time down there in that dugout.
Base hit into center field by Jeff Keppinger, so the former Red has come back into town and done some damage. He had 3 hits and a walk, including 2 doubles and a run scored in the opener. 1 for 3 and a walk last night. The 1 hit, a solo home run.
The talk going back to Edinson Volquez, anytime you have your first injury, it's always the scariest. Even though it may not be the worst injury, it's the scariest.
Edwin Masonette playing in his 5th game since being summoned from AAA Round Rock. Looks at a breaking ball from Arroyo, away, ball 1. Masonette, his first 2 hits of the year here last night. One of them knocked in a run in that 3-run 4th inning against Micah Owings. 1-1 game here. We're in the 2nd inning with 1 on and 1 out.
He really looks like he's trying to shoot the ball the other way. That's exactly what we saw last night, right between first and second base. Ended up getting that RBI that you were talking about.
Arroyo's fallen behind Masonette. 2 balls and no strikes, and that breaking ball misses low. Arroyo walked the first batter of the game, Michael Bourne, who leads the league in stolen bases. He wasted little time picking up his 16th. And the Astros scored in that first inning without a base hit. A ground ball moved him from second to third off the bat of Tejada. And then Berkman knocked him in with a fly ball to left field. Runner goes, breaking ball, strike, throw down to second, and he is out by 5 feet. History's biggest hit is back. Don't miss a sneak peek of Ice Road Truckers coming up in the top of the 4th inning. And there's strike 3 called to Masonette to end the inning. 1 hit, nobody left. Reds come to bat in the 2nd inning in a 1-1 affair.
your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. By JTM, food, family, fun. JTM. And by Jeep. You talk, we listen. It's a new day. Have fun out there. Jeep.
Strike one to Jay Bruce as we begin the bottom half of the second inning in a 1-1 game. Jay Bruce to be followed by Alex Gonzalez and then Adam Rosales. Jay at 228, 12 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Snapped an 0 for 15 streak with a base hit last night. This one lined to Bourne in center for the opening out of the second inning.
Watch Ryan Hanigan as he comes out from behind home plate as he catches Jeff Keppinger stealing, and you see him a little bit of bounce there right before the pitch comes. Well, this time watch how he turns the feet. This is the big key for Hanigan. Gets ready to throw straight over the top. Watch where this throw is. Good night, Irene. It's all about footwork behind home plate. You got to move them quick, and you got to move them where they're parallel with each other so you get a straight shot to second base.
Quickly 0-2 on Alex Gonzalez. It's been a nice homestand for Alex, as he's finally back to 100% health after missing a number of games with that injury to the oblique muscle. There's a fly ball into short right center field. Pence is there for the second out of the inning. Well, I know you see it every time on TV or here at the ballpark, that beautiful new Toyota Tundra. If a Reds player hits that sign in left center or the one in right center during tonight's game, Daniel Drescher of Springboro, Ohio, will win that Tundra. Register for your chance to win during an upcoming game at your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Ball one to Adam Rosales. 259 batter, 2 home runs, 9 batted in. Rosales hit by a pitch in a critical situation in that 6th inning last night. That's when the Reds were down a run against Roy Oswalt. They had a runner at second base with 2 outs in the inning. Oswalt walked Alex Gonzalez.
How about
that? Of course, he had struck out Rosales already twice in the game. But soon as Adams stepped in there the 3rd time, was hit by a pitch to load him up, and then Oswalt walked in the tying run to pinch hitter Johnny Gomes.
It shows you when the fatigue sets in, that ball starts running arm side, as it did with Oswalt. Even the best, it happens to. Hit a batter, walk a run in. Not fun.
And we mentioned at the time it was only the 7th time in Roy Oswalt's outstanding career that he has walked a batter with the bases loaded. That one out of play, and Oswalt must be wondering, is this going to be just one of those years? And make no mistake, he hasn't had one of those years. He has 1 win so far this season, and the Houston Astros have played 44 games.
They haven't exactly given him the greatest of run support when he's been out there on the mound, especially early in the game.
Check swing and a miss, strike 3, and a 1-2-3 second for Felipe Paulino. We're tied at 1 at the end of 2. So far, who would be your defensive most valuable player? Text 1 for Brandon Phillips, 2 for Ramon Hernandez, 3 for Jay Bruce, 4 for Jerry Hairston Jr. Text the number of your choice to 37664. Standard text rates do apply. Now, some might be wondering, why Ramon Hernandez? Well, versatility, and has been so good, whether it be at first base, replacing Joey Votto, regularly behind the plate. There's a bouncing ball into center field, a base hit by Humberto Quintero.
And he's picked off about 2 or 3 guys off the base paths.
Jerry Hairston Jr. the same thing. Can play anywhere in the outfield, pretty much anywhere in the infield.
What has he played? 5 positions so far, I think.
Now Phillips is the easiest one to pick because he's the most accomplished defensive player in the team, the reigning Gold Glove winning second baseman in the National League. And very quickly, since asking the question, we have about right around 1,150 votes that have come in so far.
I'm the fan of the number 1 guy anyway. He makes plays that nobody else can make.
We'll check back in on some of the results as they continue to pour in. Last time we had a Reds text poll question. We think, I'm told, about 62,000 of you who took the time to vote. That one bunted back up in the air, and Arroyo in to get it. That will advance the runner Quintero into scoring position. 1 out in the inning. Well done by Felipe Paulino.
Hairston has been in 6 positions this year. I said fine. Heck, if they'd have let him pitch that night instead of Giannis, he could have dropped a 7 spot on.
Yep. And there's no doubt in my mind that he could play all 9 positions on the field.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
There's no doubt about it.
He's that good of an athlete. And the thing about it is there's probably 2 or 3 guys on this club that can do that.
Yep.
That's what's amazing.
Adam Rosales could do it.
Yes.
Not a lot of cases you never would want to do it, obviously, especially on the mound and behind the plate. But the point being is, of the other 7 positions out there, the Reds have a number of players that could play just about every one of them. Brandon Phillips would be another.
Brandon Phillips. And I would bet, just gut instinct, even though he's left-handed, I would bet that Jay Bruce could probably play the left side of the infield and do all right, simply because he has a great first reaction to the ball when it comes off the bat. Not the speed, I'm talking about quickness and agility.
Breaking ball in the outside corner, a strike to Michael Bourne. 1-1 game. We're in the 3rd. Bourne walked, stole the base, scored the Houston run in the opening inning.
I will bet that Jay Bruce was one of those kids when he was growing up. He played shortstop left-handed.
Well, a lot of people, they laugh at you because it hasn't been done forever in baseball. But I recall a conversation about a year or so ago with Tony La Russa about using a left-handed catcher.
Yes.
And he said, in my opinion, it is senseless that we meaning we in baseball, don't try it.
Well, the thing about that, and I mean, what makes it make sense is there are more throws to second base, obviously. But if you pick the throws between third and first base, I would bet there are more throws to first base. Even though third base is a stealing position, there are more throws to first base after a strikeout or on a pickoff attempt. And a left-hander could just snap that bad boy down there without even having to turn his hips.
2-2 on Bourne. And a fastball that he chases up and away for strike 3. Oh, we talked about all the versatility this Reds team has shown the early part of this year. Take a look, and these are games started at each position and the number of players that have been there. You got to remember, a guy like Ramon Hernandez has played third base, so he's a 5th guy that's played that position this year.
Right. And I think that's one of the reasons that this club continues to elevate emotionally as a group, because everybody plays in different parts. They're all filling parts of different positions, and that's what really makes a team a team. When you start to come together, everybody understands what your job is, realizes how difficult it is to hit fourth, hit third, hit second, hit leadoff, play left field, play right field. You start to pull for each other even when you're sitting. That's the key of a good ball player.
0-1 to Tejada. The fastball is up under his chin. 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, you talked about Jay Bruce. I bet Dickerson's another one of those guys.
Yes, thank you very much. I'd left him out because he wasn't out on the field.
And he's a left-handed thrower.
Yeah. But he still has the agility to be able to do some of those things that we were talking about.
1-1 to Tejada, and a fastball spins him away. 2 balls and a strike. Tejada bounced down to Gonzalez in the first inning, but it was good enough to advance Michael Bourne second to third, and then Bourne would score in the fly ball by Lance Berkman. Two and one on Miguel Tejada, and a bouncing ball again at Gonzalez. Fields cleanly, hitting over. Good job. 1 hit, 1 left. Middle to third, tied at 1. Cowboy, I know you got a charge out of this the other night.
I really did. Watch the runner coming into second base. It's Michael Bourne. Watch it. Matsui, excuse me. He has absolutely no idea where the ball is. Watch him look around right here. Where's the ball at? It's right in front of him. There it is out there in center field. He has no idea where the ball is. He would have scored easily on the play, but instead he only gets to third base. That is a decoy between the shortstop and the second base, pretending that they're turning a double play, and that's exactly what Matsui was looking at the players versus the baseball, which was right in front of him. You teach your infielders to do that, and when it works, it's only funny.
Ryan Hannigan will lead off against Felipe Paulino here in the bottom of the third inning. 1 run, 2 hits for Houston. 1 run, 1 hit for the Reds. The Reds run on a Jerry Hairston Jr. home run. Paulino's been mighty stingy against the Reds in a couple of starts this year. Jeff pointed out that the rest of the league that he has faced has knocked him around pretty good, but not the Reds. Houston brought him up from the minor leagues on April the 19th. He started at home at Minute Maid Park, went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits and no runs, but the bullpen gave it up for Houston. And then 10 days later here, 5 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run. Into center field, a leadoff single by Hannigan.
That's the place where Paulino gets himself into trouble, is elevating the baseball. And even though Quintero wanted that ball elevated, watch where he wants the baseball. He wants it up here. Watch where this baseball is. Whack! Right back up the middle. Instead of being inside, it's on the outside of that line that I put right across the top. There's a whole lot of difference on that line, whether it's inside or outside. Outside you reach, inside you pop up.
The National League's best bunter this season is Bronson Arroyo. He leads the league with 8 sacrifices. Didn't look so good on that bunt attempt. He's behind 0-2. You know, you look back, and granted, Bronson Arroyo more than likely is not going to end up going to the Hall of Fame. But when you start looking at a franchise, and every franchise you can do this with, best trades, worst trades, those in the middle. This trade for the Reds has turned out to be one of the best deals this organization has ever made. Remember, they traded Willie Mo Pena on the ground here. They get the out at second, and they double up Arroyo. Well, a rare time where Bronson can't put down the bunt. And with 2 strikes, he swings away and grounds into the double play. But when you consider that since Arroyo was acquired by the Reds prior to the 2006 season, he leads all major league pitchers, every one of them, with 112 starts, and he ranks second to his teammate Aaron Harang among all National League pitchers in innings pitched. Now, if that is not a trade, then I don't know what a great trade is.
No, it's one of the best trades I've ever seen in the game, as long as I've been around the game.
Taveras bunts it right out in front of the plate, but it's thrown away down the right field line. And this baby is going to go all the way into the right field corner. Taveras on his way to third, and he's there with 2 men out on a ball that rolled, what, 8 feet in front of the plate. The Astros are screaming that he ran inside the line, which caused Quintero to throw that ball away, and now Cecil Cooper will come out and pick up the argument.
You've got to run in this box here when you're coming down the line, and what they're saying is that he was inside the line. He's right on the line. On the line is okay. If you're on the grass, it's not okay.
Well, that step coming up right there, he's on the other angle, is very, very close.
But the problem with the throw from Quintero is that he moved out for the proper angle. He just flat threw the ball away. It did not seem an engross justice for Taveras that he was way inside the line. He was right on the borderline.
Now Jerry Hairston Jr., who homered his first time up, and Taveras will be alive just in case one of those gets beyond Quintero.
How about Hunter Pence coming in to back that play up, and instead of running over to back it up, he's running into the dugout thinking it's 3 outs. Not good. He ends up here halfway between his position and second base, and that ball's going to the Astro bullpen. Oops.
1-1 to Jerry Hairston Jr. trying to give the Reds the lead, and a high bouncer, and this will give him a lead. A base hit by Hairston. So the 3-base throwing error by Quintero Puts Tavares at third, and Hairston knocks him in to give the Reds their first lead of the night.
A breaking ball, and Hairston gets just enough of it on the outside corner, and a lot of times this will happen where you see the big high choppers. A breaking ball that's running away from a right-handed hitter. He gets out there, he hits right on the top of the ball, gets enough spin on it where it hits right at the hard part in front of home plate. Out to left field she goes.
Now Joey Votto bounced out to Lance Berkman. His only at bat, big swing and a miss on a 96-mile-per-hour fastball from Paulino. This young man can rush it up there.
Yes, he can. And that's the one place where Votto seems to get a little bit vulnerable, is that high fastball or the changeup that stays in the heart of the plate. But if it's shot out of a bazooka and it stays middle in, whether it's up or down, we know what he does with that time. It's right out there by the Reds bullpen. It's called a home run.
Votto has 8 of those on the year, despite a limited number of at-bats compared to guys who have been playing every single day. And this one may be headed towards that Reds bullpen. Nope, a little bit short. Just missed it.
Boy, he almost got it.
But the Reds break the tie with a run thanks to an error and a base hit by Hairston. Talked about history's biggest hit being back. Here's a sneak peek of Ice Road Truckers. Four catchers in Major League Baseball history to hit 300 home runs at that position. Well, Johnny Lee Bench would be on that list.
Piazza?
Mike Piazza certainly is on that list. Now, Pudge Rodriguez has 300 career home runs. The question would be, does he have 300 home runs as a catcher?
I don't think so, because he DH'd.
Lance Berkman pops up.
DH doesn't count, does it?
No, it does not. Has to be as a catcher. Now, I got to believe Yogi Berra would be on that list. Of course, he played every day for a long, long time, and there was no DH in the American League in those days.
Correct.
Is Carlton Fisk the fourth? Got to be, right? When he retired, he had the most home runs of any catcher.
Right. Johnny does not have. Is Johnny there?
I think Johnny does. I could be wrong. Could be wrong, but I think he does.
I do too. I think he's pretty well over 3.
He was the all-time leader for a long time.
And then Fisk
and then Fisk caught him, and then Piazza just went rolling by everybody.
But I think Berra is somewhere 300, 320 right in.
I think you're right.
Because I think Bench was at 340. Fisk passed him. I'm only guessing.
1-2 to Carlos Lee. Fastball up and in. Reds leading 2-1. The heart of the order against Arroyo here in the top of the 4th inning. And a breaking ball is too low. If I'm not mistaken, every time I see Lee back out of the way of a fastball from Bronson Arroyo, wasn't it Arroyo who hit Lee last year, ending his season? There's a line drive to Nixon left field for the second out of the inning.
Yes, and I believe he hit him with a breaking ball that hit him like in the pinky.
Yep, left little finger.
Because I don't believe it was a fastball, if I remember correctly, but I believe it was a breaking ball that didn't do anything. So now every time a breaking ball comes towards Lee, Elgin Baylor.
There were multiple fractures in that left little finger. He had Mazur's surgery the following 2 days later. It happened on August the 9th. He had surgery August the 11th. And at the time, he led the National League, was second in the major leagues in runs batted in. He was having the best year of his career. One and 0 on Hunter Pence with 2 out and nobody on. Reds leading 2-1. We're in the 4th. Into center field, a base hit by Pence.
Breaking ball stayed on the plate. If you're going to get Pence to chase, the ball has got to be off the plate. Watch where this ball stays. It breaks, it's breaking to the corner, but by the time he gets the bat to it, it is still on the plate. Pence is one of those guys, he's got a lot of reach, so you make him reach.
Pence 5 stolen bases in 9 attempts. Jeff Keppinger looks at ball 1. He singled into center field, was thrown out trying to steal in the 2nd inning. Told you the Reds begin play a game and a half out in the National League Central Division. The Cardinals and the Brewers wrapped up their series today at Miller Park, and the Cardinals went in there and won 2 out of 3. This one blistered into center right at Taveras to retire the side. A couple of hard hit balls, but loud outs. One hit, and that's a pitch that hit him last August the 9th, which broke that little finger. 2-1, Reds lead it. Hosts Chris Rose and Carissa Thompson. Weeknights, it's presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Along with a cowboy, Jeff Brent. I'm Tom Brenneman, our entire Fox Sports Ohio crew at Great American Ballpark, where the Reds lead 2-1. Lance Nix jammed on a fastball by Felipe Paulino and pops up for the first out of the inning. All right, we took a stab at it. We'll find out if we were close. Generally, we are not. On our Aflac trivia question, the 4 catchers in Major League Baseball history to hit 300 home runs at that position. We didn't think Pudge Rodriguez was on the list. We got it. How about that, cowboy?
Give me a little bit.
That's big.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's a big old yes sir. Let me hear a yes sir.
We are the Aflac champion.
Let me hear a big old yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Nice. In the air, right center field by Jay Bruce. She is gone. A home run by Bruce, number 13.
Woo, that's good. That's hot. That's nice. Fastball right down Broadway. Goodbye, baby.
What did you say? That's what?
I said, woo, that's good. That's hot. That's nice. You got it, buddy?
Can I ask the origin of that phrase? Do you have any idea? I mean, did you grow up referring to home runs like that, or somebody around you, or was that food, or was that just anything? Say that one more time. I want to make sure I have all the words right. That's what?
Woo, that's good. That's hot. That's nice. That's good. That's hot. That's nice.
Food, the origin of that?
Yeah, aren't most things that concern me originating around food?
Yes. Tapper foul on the third base line. I like that. You got to start breaking that out a little more often.
Well, we shall see. It just comes out.
I understand. Rocket one hopper played nicely by Tejada. 2 away in the inning. But if the Reds can get Jay Bruce going offensively, and I mean, he has 13 home runs, 26 now runs batted in, but he has not taken flight yet through the first 45 games of this year. When that happens, and it will happen.
It will happen.
When that happens, it's just another level offensively this team is capable of going to.
You have to remember that when Jay Bruce came to the big leagues, the guys that he hung around with were only concerned about hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Those 2 guys are not here anymore. It's going to take a little time for his mindset to change about just hitting the ball out of the ballpark. There are a lot more parts of offense that go into swinging the bat than just taking a deep cut every time you come to the plate. He will get better.
Adam Rosales struck out his first time up. He's quickly behind 0-2 here. The Reds fell behind after a half inning, 1-0. 2 batters into the bottom of the inning. Jerry Hairston tied the game with a home run. A throwing error with 2 outs put Willie Taveras at third in the third. Hairston knocked him in with a single, and now a long one from Bruce, and the Reds have their largest lead of the night at 3-1. Well, we talked about before this series began what a critically important stretch of games the Reds were embarking upon. 13 straight games inside the National League Central Division. We'll talk more about that when we come back. But the Reds flexing their muscles early on tonight. Hairston back in the first, Bruce in the fourth, and the Reds lead 3-1. 3 wide. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. The Battling Redlegs going for the 3-game sweep and have a 3-1 lead as we move to the top of the 5th inning at Great American Ballpark. Reds trying to cap off a 9-game homestand. A win tonight would give them 6 wins. Of course, they lost 2 of the first 3. That first game still a killer game on this homestand when they had the Phillies right where they wanted them and let it get away for the first time all year long, where the Reds had a lead at the end of 7 and lost a game.
Had them down for the count.
But to their credit, they won the opening game of the Cleveland series, lost a tough one in game 2, letting a lead get away. Popped up to the right side, Hairston underneath it. And Masonette retired to open the 5th. But that was their last loss on Saturday. A lone start by Homer Bailey.
The thing that I would like to see, Tom, is after this Reds club went into Arizona and swept the Arizona Diamondbacks, they went to San Diego and they came out with their tails between their legs. I would like to see this club finish this ball game today on a high note, sweep the Houston Astros, and take that momentum and go into this road trip full bore.
Fly ball into center field, should be the second out, and it is. You know, the interesting part is, over the course of a baseball season, and Jeff, you know this as well as anybody, I mean, you are really looking forward to those off days. And the Reds have an off day tomorrow because you don't get many of them. But the ironic part, should they win today and carrying that momentum as you talked about, they were so hot after the 3-game series sweep in Arizona, but then happened? They had the off day.
Off day.
And perhaps they did get a little full of themselves. I mean, let's face it, San Diego was coming off a road trip. They had lost 6 straight games. They were
young club.
10 games under 500.
But I think that this club has learned a lot about itself. And sometimes you learn by your mistakes. I think your best learning experiences come from absolute embarrassment. And I think that was an embarrassment because they knew better than to go into San Diego and play the way they did. Better early that you learn your lesson than in September.
Breaking ball is strike 3 called, and it's the first perfect inning of the night for Bronson Arroyo. He allowed a run in the first, nothing since, and has a 2-run lead. Purchase any foot-long sandwich and get $5 off select Reds tickets. Each ticket also comes with a $5 concession voucher. How about that? Offer good for all Monday through Thursday games in June and July. Visit Reds.com/subway for details. Reds lead 3-1 as they come to bat in the home half of the 5th inning against Felipe Paulino. It'll be 8-9-1 in the batting order. Hannigan, Arroyo, Taveras.
Last time Hannigan led off an inning, he singled. Red scored.
Hannigan is having just a rock-solid season for the Reds this year.
I think if anybody knew that Hannigan could handle himself this well at the big league level, I don't know that they would have gone and gotten Hernandez. I'm extremely happy that we have Hernandez. He's been a phenomenal part of this ball club in the way that they've won and the way that they've gone about their business. But Ryan Hannigan's ready to catch.
On the ground to the second baseman, Mason out. One away. You know, you look at Hannigan. He has made 16 starts, including tonight. He has a hit in 12 of the 16 at better than a .330 clip. Now think about that for a minute. 16 starts. He doesn't do a lot of pinch hitting. Right. I mean, Dusty doesn't like using that second catcher inside the game when you only have 2 on your club.
Right.
So there are a lot of times where he's gone 3, 4, 5 games without playing or pinch
sometimes
hitting.
More.
And to hit over .330 in 16 starts, I mean, that's mighty good.
What that tells me is that he keeps himself not only physically ready, but he keeps himself mentally ready to hit and keeps in touch with what's going on with the opposition so that he can call a quality game.
And he's thrown out 4 out of the 9 would-be base stealers. You can chalk up another one here tonight.
I don't think that there's going to be a whole lot of stealing going on when Hannigan becomes the everyday catcher. But you know, it's probably good for him, Tom, that he's had an opportunity to sit back behind a quality veteran like Ramon Hernandez, who really goes about his business the way that you're supposed to.
That ball driven into right center field by Arroyo. It will go all the way to the wall. This might be 3 bases. And Arroyo is going to stop. He thought about it. You could see him kick it into another gear and then broke it down.
He was going to third base, and as soon as he turned and looked at Mark Berry says, hold up, boy. You don't get the bunt down, you come to the plate with a little extra on your mind the next time around, and Bronson Arroyo can swing the bat. And he drives that bat boy all the way into right center. And when he comes around first base, he's thinking 3, and he looks at Mark Berry, and Mark Berry put on the stop sign big time.
11th career double for Arroyo, and here's Willie Taveras, strike 1.
You know as well as I do, Tom, that Bronson Arroyo takes a lot of pride not only in his pitching, but he takes a lot of pride in the fact that he gets bunts down and that he can execute. And when he didn't execute the bunt last time, you had to realize he was going to come to the plate with a little extra on his mind.
Swing and a miss, and they'll throw it down to first, get Taveras there. Advancing on to third is Arroyo.
How about that awareness in base running by a pitcher? He goes into third head first, knowing that the catcher had to throw to first base to get Hairston. There's a lot of pitchers that just stay right there at second base, not knowing what to do. Watch Arroyo here. As soon as the ball gets in the dirt, he is gone. Even though the ball is going towards the third base line, or third base bank, he knows that the catcher's got to throw the ball to first base.
We could have a dual giveaway night. Remember when they gave away those Ryan Friel dirty jerseys and they given away the Bronson Arroyo caps with the hair hanging down? Get 2 for 1 there. On the ground by Hairston. First time they've gotten him out tonight after a couple of RBIs. And the 5, Reds 3, Houston 1.
With you, it is NASCAR night at the ballpark, Kentucky Speedway, just down the road, and coming up on June 13th, Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. It's the Meyer 300. It is the premier event at Kentucky Speedway, and we are with one of the guys that has won that race, 2007 winner, Stephen Like. He races for Richard Childress Racing, one of the big names in the sport, the number 29. So you've won at this race. Obviously, this has got to be one of your favorite stops.
Oh, absolutely. I love Kentucky Speedway, and the fans here are unbelievable. And I appear they like baseball as much as they like NASCAR. It's a cool game.
You said you're a baseball fan. You're rocking the cherry snow cone here, and you're enjoying a little baseball.
You can't watch a baseball game without eating a cherry snow cone and eating some peanuts.
You already got the peanuts down?
Oh, we already ate the peanuts. I'm about to get a second bag in a minute.
All right, for the fans that haven't been down to the really a gem of a track in Kentucky Speedway, it's one of the premier tracks on the circuit, is it not?
Absolutely. I think Cup would really benefit from having a Cup race there. You know, the 2 years, 3 years I've raced there, it's been sold out every time, and the track itself is a great facility, very clean, very inviting, and it's just fun to race on. You know, there's a bunch of grooves out there. You can race side by side without touching each other, and it's had 8 different winners in all 8 races, so that's something else too.
It really is, and a lot of big names have gotten their first wins there as well, and you can see Sprint Cup drivers Carl Edwards, Kyle Busch, and defending champion Joey Logano. Again, it is June 13th, 8:30 p.m. Best way to get tickets is KentuckySpeedway.com. Guys, you want to talk about horses and the cowboy, this guy brings the horse power. Much more powerful than them horses on the range in Mississippi.
He's right about that.
Good stuff. We wish him well for the upcoming race, and certainly I know a lot of people in this part of the country very much are hoping that the Kentucky Motor Speedway one day will have a NASCAR event. That has been a long-running saga through a couple of owners now at that track over in the Bluegrass State. Votto knocks it down, ricochets to Hairston, but not going to be able to get Michael Bourne, so he's aboard to begin the Houston 6th.
You know, Tom, we ride our horses in dirt. They ride their race cars on asphalt. Now, if we were to ride my horse against his car on dirt, he might lose because the back of their tires are slick as a baby's behind. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Now, he might throw up a lot of smoke and speed and stuff, but I'll be on down there by the finish line.
On Posey. Leadoff man aboard is Michael Bourne. He stole second when he reached via the walk in the first inning and scored the only Houston run of the night. Votto appeared to be shaken up a bit after diving for that ball to his right. slowly walked back to the first base bag. Miguel Tejada twice has bounced out to short. Good breaking ball by Arroyo, and there's a strike.
I think any time that you have an equilibrium issue, which is what Votto is faced with, you dive, you change dramatically your head position from standing straight up to all of a sudden you're horizontal on the ground, and then you're back up again. That head rush back and forth has got to be some semblance of effect on him equilibrium wise.
Breaking ball, another beauty by Arroyo, and it's 0-2 on Miguel Tejada.
He pitched Tejada in last time. That ball starts in. Tejada looks like he wants to hit it over his face on the big new scoreboard out there in left center field, and he missed it by about a foot.
Now Arroyo has him around the neck. No balls, 2 strikes. Bourne a good lead over at first. And another breaking ball. Tejada reaches out for it and fouls it away out of play.
See, that's the one part about Tejada's game that a lot of people don't realize. Early in the count, he's looking for a ball out over the plate that he can jerk out of the ballpark. He's got that big swing. If the ball's in, he's usually going to pull it foul. He's going to hit it hard. But if you hang a breaking ball that's over the plate, that's the ball they'll hit out of the ballpark. Now he's gone into a 2-strike swing. You throw him a breaking ball on the outside corner, he's going to shoot it down the right field line. Now's the time to go in with a fastball.
Straight games. Tejada has a hit coming into play tonight. This should make him 0 for 3 on the fly ball to Jay Bruce, and it does. 1 out here in the 6th inning with Bourne still at first base.
Looked like Hannigan wanted the ball inside. I don't know that Arroyo got it totally in there, but he got it in enough to where Tejada got underneath the baseball and hit it right about the label.
Now Hannigan going to come out and check in with Arroyo before Lance Berkman settles in. Berkman a sac fly RBI, a fly ball down the third base line in the 1st inning. And then in the 4th inning, he popped up to the shortstop Alex Gonzalez. Side, they'll have to hurry. Hairston for 1, throw to first. That's a double play to end the 6th inning. So here's Arroyo yet again, wheeling and dealing, and a defense helping from behind. Votto to start things in the Reds' 6th inning. Our Firestone leaderboards. We talked about the National League All-Star voting, the first base position. Fully aware that Albert Pujols would be the leading vote getter, but as you start scrolling through the top 5, no Joey Votto, and yet, well, Votto statistically is certainly having a far superior season to just about every first baseman in the league. Especially when you consider, as we brought up last night, the fewer number of at-bats that Votto has compared to some of the others. He has 10 fewer RBIs in fielder and nearly 55 fewer plate appearances. Pujols, in almost 40 more plate appearances, has just 7 more RBIs, and of course Votto has a better batting average in either one. He has the best on base percentage in the entire league. Pujols is 4th. Fielder nowhere to be found. Slugging percentage, Pujols 2nd, Votto 3rd. And the on-base percentage just went a little bit higher on a base hit into left field by Joey Votto, his first hit tonight. We welcome you back to the Coors Light 6th inning. Time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Alex Gonzalez, the bobble, the scoop by Joey V. Nice. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, and Mr. Volquez was digging it. A quiet night for Lance Nix.
I think when you vote for a guy like Joey Votto and you're in Ohio or Cincinnati or within the listening area, or viewing area, I should say, you really promote and honor the guys that play for your ball club that are doing so well.
Well, of course, the Reds were one of the few teams going way back when all-star balloting began about stuffing the ballot boxes, and there have been other cities that have been accused of doing that for some guys who deserved to be there and other guys, quite frankly, who did not deserve to be there. But, I mean, there is not even a fraction of debate. And there's a long way to go. Again, you know, I want to preface everything by saying there is a long way to go between now and the All-Star game. Over a month and a half. But they are releasing the voting numbers right now, and so it certainly warrants talking about Votto.
Right.
And deserving to be there.
It warrants talking about Brandon Phillips also.
Of course, you go back to when it all started in July of 1957. Cincinnati fans stuffed the ballot boxes. They voted 8 starters onto the All-Star team. The National League stepped in, intervened, pulled 3 Reds players from the starting lineup. Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Stan Musial were named starters, replacing George Crowe, Wally Post, and Gus Bell. How about that? Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Stan Musial.
Why? What did they put those 3 guys in there for?
Good question.
Hank Aaron and Musial? Come on.
And to say, hey, kid, bunch of stiffs.
What were their numbers good or something? You don't think they stuff that box now and stuff that thing online? They're voting every 5 seconds. You can believe that.
Fastball up and away. 3-2 on Lance Nix.
Because you have to remember that it is the World Wide Web.
Yep.
So you can vote at any part of the world that you would like. So Fukudome, Ichiro, I guarantee you they're getting votes from all over the place.
Runner started on a 3-2 pitch, and Nick strikes out. First out here in the 6th inning. A lot of people fail to remember that Kosuke Fukudome, after having a monster April and about halfway through May, began his decline, was hitting .279 at the All-Star break, but was in the starting lineup. He hit barely over 100 the rest of the year and found himself on the bench
last year.
But he started in the All-Star game.
Right.
As Bruce homered for a second time, Pence at the wall, and it is gone.
Woo-wee.
Jay Bruce, a solo home run in the fourth inning, a two-run shot here in the sixth, and the Reds now lead 5-1.
Almost identically the same pitch that he got in the at-bat before. First pitch fastball. Kiss the baby. Golly.
Fourth time in Jay Bruce's very young career. He's hit 2 or more home runs in a game. Second time he's done it this season.
And that really shows you the promise in Jay Bruce as you see this ball come off the bat like a rocket.
Back on April the 26th, Bruce had a couple of home runs in a game against Atlanta.
The ball just absolutely jumps off of his bat when he makes solid contact. And that's hips, hands, and lower body working all together at the same time.
Two away in the inning after Gonzalez lines out to third. We invite you to join the Reds Community Fund for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play catch on the field this Father's Day, Sunday, June the 21st, after the Reds and the Chicago White Sox. A limited number of spaces are available for this event. Get your tickets now at 513-765-7234 or go to reds.com/catch.
Did the same guy catch those 2 home runs? It looked like they were in the same spot.
We are checking the videotape.
Would that qualify as deja vu?
That it would.
I ain't real sure about that fancy word like that.
Well, down in your neck of the woods, you're not far from Cajun country.
No, we ain't
I mean, that's
far
a
at all.
French word, and
I said, "Ooh, that's good. That's not that."
around is short. And the inning is over. I was waiting for you to say that again. You said it the first time on Bruce's home run. You want to go ahead and say it before we go to break?
Ooh, that's good. That's hot. That's not.
half innings, Jerry Hairston Jr. tied the game with his 6th home run of the year. He gave the Reds a 2-1 lead with a 2-out single in the 3rd, and then Jay Bruce. A line drive to center off the bat of Carlos Lee for the first out. Bruce homered in the 4th inning, a solo shot, and then hits his 2nd home run of the game, a 2-run blast in the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, Bruce now 14 home runs on the year, 28 runs batted in, and Cowboy, let's see, did the same fan catch both home runs?
Well, that's my man that I'm looking at right there, and I believe he's sitting right in that spot. That's him right there. Looked pretty close to me. Of course, it could have been a section over, but they both had on the same kind of Reds jersey.
Yep.
That qualifies for same guy.
One away in the inning, and here's Hunter Pence. Jam shot pop up short center. Who wants it? Taveras there, 2 away. And boy, here is Bronson Arroyo. I mean, lost in all this thunder and the Jay Bruce 2 home runs, and yet Bronson Arroyo, who gave you 8 innings of 5-hit 1-run baseball his last time out in a victory over Cleveland, is 2 outs deep into the 7th inning. He's allowed 4 hits and 1 run, and we always continue to come back to some of the numbers Arroyo has strung together since the shortest start of his career last year against Toronto, when he allowed 11 hits and 10 earned runs in 1 inning, beginning with his next start, a 9-5 win over Cleveland on June the 29th of last year. He has 17 wins in the major leagues, second only to Roy Halladay. Not Santana, not Brandon Webb. Roy Halladay 1, Bronson Arroyo 2. Number 24, the great Tony Perez. On this date in baseball, May the 27th, 2000. Hard to believe that is 9 years ago. Tony Perez's number 24 retired by the Cincinnati Reds, the 6th number at that time to be retired by the Reds. A big doggy. As great off the field as he was on the field. But of course, eventually would be enshrined into baseball's Hall of Fame the same year as Sparky Anderson and Marty Brennaman. That's a pretty good Reds year.
Big time.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, that was just an extraordinary weekend if you are a Reds fan. We were so blessed to be a part of that weekend in Cooperstown, New York.
Alberto Arias is on for the Houston Astros. Young right-hander pitched in game one. Got a pretty good fastball, pretty good breaking ball. Threw a lot of strikes in game one. Let's see if he can do it tonight.
Well, the Reds bat with a 4-run lead, 5-1 our score, bottom of the 7th inning. Paulino did not walk a batter, struck out 4, allowed 5 runs, 4 earned runs in his 6 innings, along with his 7 base hits. And here are the numbers on Mr. Arias.
That opponent's batting average tells you a little something about this young man's stuff. Only hitting 200 off the man. .93-mile-an-hour fastball that starts off the plate and ran all the way back to the middle of the plate. Tough pitch to hit.
Ryan Hannigan 1 for 2 is singled and bounced to second base, and he is singled again.
Except if you're Ryan Hannigan.
You know, I know Ryan Hannigan doesn't want to hear this, but there's no way there is a backup catcher so far in this 2009 season. I mean, it's impossible to believe. And I'm not going to claim to know every number 2 catcher in Major League Baseball and what kind of year they're having, but it's impossible that anyone would be having a better year than Hannigan.
I don't think so. Not with all of the things that he can do behind the plate and at the plate. I mean, that was a breaking ball down and away after a 93-mile-an-hour sinking fastball, and he just takes it right over the second baseman's head. He's got a great game plan when he comes to the plate, and he doesn't falter.
0-1 the count on Arroyo. And he stabbed at it and missed it. He's behind 0-2. Now, there are those out there watching tonight that maybe are familiar with a team in their area, maybe watching on satellite tonight, that say, well, you know, what about our guy in fill in the blank? He has more home runs, more RBIs. I don't doubt you're probably right. But I can promise you your guy's getting a lot more playing time than Ryan Hannigan is getting.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about 16 starts, including tonight. And yet he's hitting .328.
He's only got 55 ABs.
Yes. For the second time tonight, Arroyo fails to advance a runner with a bunt. He had more sacrifices than any player in the league.
And don't think he won't hear about it. Because when he was getting them down and he had the 7 or 8 in a row without messing any up, chirping. He'll be talking about the double, and everybody else will be talking about the 2 bunts he just done.
Now Willie Taveras. Roller foul.
All right, Reds fans, for a great tasting quality meal for your family, pick up a bag of JTM beef, chicken, Philly cheesesteaks from your favorite grocer. JTM, food, family, and fun. Yes, sir.
It's a good looking breaking ball right there.
He really gets on top of the ball. That's why even when he leaves it on the inside part of the plate, we're talking about Arias, the right-hander for the Astros. Even when he leaves the ball on the inside part of the plate, he's on top of it and the ball breaks straight down. There it is again. Short, quick breaking ball. Gives it an opportunity to stay in the strike zone. He wants the ball away. See how the ball starts inside and still breaks enough to the corner where you get a commitment from the batter. Now, in my mind, if you could get a hitter such as Taveras to swing at a pitch that's that far back, then you come back in with a heater. And I think Cooper is out to check on his catcher Quintero to see if the ball fouled off of him, and Quintero's wondering, what the heck are you guys doing out here? I'm fine. They're a little skippy over there in that third base dugout with the injuries to Pudge Rodriguez, they don't want Quintero hurt.
Served into right field, a base hit.
That's a little UDF right there.
A little what?
A little UDF.
What's that?
Scoop me a little ice cream. Just serve it right out there. You make a pitch like that, that's 6 inches off the ground, and look where the eyes are of Taveras. They are right down on the baseball, and that's what allows him to just leave it right out there over the second baseman, Masonette, and right in front of the right fielder, Hunter Pence.
A little UDF.
A little UDF serve into right field. A little ice cream.
That's big league ice cream.
Extra malt on mine, please.
Strike one to Jerry Hairston Jr.
I like those double thick shakes with extra malt.
So that's technically called a chocolate malt.
Well, not really, because I like vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup, extra malt, and thick.
1 ball and 1 strike. And as you like to say, you put it on that little thing that spins around.
Right. You know, that chops up the stuff. Like if you were going to put an Oreo cookie in there. They got some.
How would you like that?
I like that too. I like mint ice cream with Oreo cookies. Get in there and chop that thing up real good and nice. Give me a big old spoon. Whoop. Call it dog.
Breaking ball, 2-1.
Sit out on the porch and knock that out.
Of course, you're not adverse to watching a little TV, laying down in bed, and just falling asleep with that ice cream on your boiler.
That's exactly right. I cannot say that is not a lie.
2-1 delivery. And that ball driven into right center field. Pence will wave off Michael Bourne. And both runners stay put. There are 2 away in the inning. Been a rough start, and I mean a start going all the way back to spring training. You may remember when we saw the Astros in spring training, they had won their second game. They went nearly 3 weeks before they won another game in spring training. So it has been rough right from the get-go for Cecil Cooper and this Houston Astros team. They've got some very proud and very productive players on this team.
Yeah, you look at this lineup and you think, how does this club lose? Pudge Rodriguez behind the plate. They've got offense coming out of their ear. But one thing that you will always notice, teams that have not so hot starting pitching and they give up runs early, that offense ain't so good, because the other team's pitcher turns the dial up a little bit. And pitching, good pitching will always beat good hitting.
But there is one thing, as it's 0-2 on Votto through the front 40 now 6 games of this season for the Cincinnati Reds, is they have real good pitching. That's what you're talking about. You know, you fall behind, other teams begin to start shutting you down.
I think that's the thing that's kept the life in that Reds dugout. They know that their pitchers, sooner or later, they're going to shut them down.
Votto gone swinging, and that'll end the inning. 2 hits, 2 men left. We move to the 8th, where the Reds lead the Astros 5-1.
By your local Ford dealer and the Ford F-150 2009 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. By Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And by your Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com for current offers.
Turned into a beautiful night for baseball. We go to the 8th inning. The Reds leading 5-1. You look at the National League Central Division standings, and the Reds 2 back after the St. Louis win over Milwaukee. If the Reds can get the final 6 outs, nail this one down, they will be back to a game and a half behind the front-running Cardinals. They will be a half game behind the Milwaukee Brewers. And guess who's on the upcoming road trip? You got it. Both of those clubs directly in front of the Reds. A 3-game series which begins on Friday night at Miller Park. The Reds will be trotting Johnny Cueto to the mound in the series opener against Braden Looper. Aaron Harang in game 2 against Dave Bush, Micah Owings, Giovanni Gallardo on Sunday. Then a 4-game series in St. Louis. Edinson Volquez set to return off the disabled list for that series. So the Reds in that St. Louis series will have the quartet on the mound in no particular order of Volquez, Arroyo, Cueto, Harang. Micah Owings will be the only starter of the rotation that will not pitch if Volquez indeed comes back in that series. And then, of course, it's back for just a 3-game set. But 3 games against the 2-time defending Central Division champion Chicago Cubs. Jason Michaels now to bat for Alberto Arias with quickly 2 gone for Arroyo. Boy, he has made it look easy tonight. 75 pitches in the game for Bronson Arroyo.
And this will be the night that you will see Bronson Arroyo have his first complete game. He has the wins. He will continue getting those wins, and now he wants to run that ERA down there into some respectable position down around under 4. Oh, that was almost goodnight Irene right there. Pretty good pitch.
One-two to Michaels. In the air, this should be the final out in the 8th. 79 pitches in the game for Bronson Arroyo through 8 innings. He has been marvelous here tonight. About Ryan Hannigan. Cut down Jeff Keppinger trying to steal second. Looked like a botch hit and run, but an out nonetheless. A caught stealing nonetheless. And right here's Ryan Hannigan. Not pumping his fist, not showing anybody up. Put the mask back on and get to work.
He's very confident in his ability, and it shows not only at the plate, but it shows behind the plate, and it shows in the extraordinary pitching of Bronson Arroyo. This is a game where this is a catcher who catches Arroyos every start.
Chris Sampson now takes over on the mound. Third pitcher used by Cecil Cooper tonight. 5 runs, 9 hits, 4 men left on base for the Reds. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error, and 2 men left on for Houston. Sampson is having a terrific year. He's been very busy, but a 1.93 ERA.
He's got a good moving fastball. And the thing about Sampson is he doesn't get himself in trouble. Tries to stay ahead in the count and make you hit a pitch down in the zone.
That one back up into center field. A base hit by Lance Nix, his first hit tonight. Well, Jay Bruce coming up. We remind you the Reds Hall of Fame and Museum now offers audio tours. Enjoy the Hall of Fame exhibits as Reds greats like Frank Robinson, Pete Rose, Tony Perez, George Foster provide first-hand accounts of what it was like to be at Crosley Field when history was made. For more information, visit reds.com/HOF. What a place it is. Jay Bruce lined to center field in the second inning. Homer to right center in the fourth. Hit a 2-run home run in the sixth. And Sampson misses up and in, ball 1. Reds 3 outs away from a 3-game series sweep, which would cap off a 9-game homestand with a 6-3 record. Then they would go to 6 games over 500, which, by the way, would match a season high. And I was 6 games over 500 after they completed that 3-game sweep in Arizona.
And I still believe that sweeping a series, I don't care who it's against, is a highly difficult task. It's tough, whether you're on the road, whether you're at home. I don't care if you're playing a minor league team 3 games in a row. It's tough to sweep 3 games because it's mental, it's physical, and it's also a little luck involved, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, foul.
Brian Gorman, the crew chief down there, he was getting out of the way of that one in a hurry. He's already seen those 2 balls head out there into the smokestacks.
You bring up a great point. I mean, people a lot of times they don't want to hear about it. Players don't want to hear about it. People just kind of brush you off. Luck has a lot to do with a lot of things.
It does.
And certainly when you watch baseball and, you know, a ball that falls in here, a ball that stays fair there. That one ripped down in the right field corner. On his way to third base is Lance Nix. They're going to wave him around, and he will score. Bruce with a triple. 4 RBIs tonight for Jay Bruce, and a lead stretches to 6-1. Well, he just missed on the prior pitch. He didn't miss on this one.
Well, that breaking ball, instead of being inside, it stayed over the heart of the plate. Bruce didn't try to do too much with it, just dropped the head on the baseball, and it ends up in the right field corner.
First triple this year for Bruce, second career 3-base hit. Now the infield comes in. Alex Gonzalez the batter. Strike 1.
But Tom, I think when you talk about luck and you talk about being fortunate in events that happen on the baseball field and with your ball club, when things good happen to you, it's because you play the game hard and you force the issue. When you do that, good things do happen to you. You can call them luck. You can call them, hey, fate, whatever you want to call them. But when you push the issue and you play the game the right way and you work hard at it, things happen. It is a physical game and a mental game, so you got to come with both.
They'll look the runner back to third, and Gonzalez taps out. First out here in the 8th inning against Sampson. So now an RBI chance for Adam Rosales. The infield will stay in.
The thing that I like that the Reds are starting to do now in their ball games, they get out of ahead of a ball club, whether it's 1 or 2 runs, they don't stop. They don't let the morale die in the clubhouse. They don't let it die in the dugout. They continue to add on, and that's what championship clubs do. You don't just kick a little dirt over the top of them. You flat out bury it.
And 1 to Rosales. Coughing at 2. Adam 0 for 3 tonight. Well, what a road trip this is going to be. I mean, it is shaping up. Granted, it's still the month of May, and we've talked about it the last couple of nights. But I think it's safe to say that when the Reds get back from this road trip and then play that 3-game series here against the Cubs, we're going to have a good feel about what kind of summer this is going to be.
Well, it's all about making a statement. There's a lot of pride that goes into these next couple of weeks for this Reds ball club. And you can tell they want to be known as winners, not as the losers that we've seen here in the last, what,
8 years.
8 years. They don't want to hear about that anymore. You go down,
and really, this bunch should not be hung with that tag.
Right. And when you go down there and that subject comes up, they'll tell you flat out, that's not us. That's not us. And that's what you want to hear. You want to see this club fight and grip for everything they want to get.
You know, you look at the teams that are going to be playing on the upcoming trip. Now, granted, it's been quite some time since they have seen the Brewers and then the Cubs when they come back home. But you talk about trying to make an early statement at the beginning of this year. They've beaten the Brewers 3 out of 5. They've beaten the Cardinals 2 out of 3. They've beaten the Cubs 2 out of 3. In the air down the right field line. Will it stay fair? No.
And all 3 of those teams, Tom, they know that when the Reds come to town, they got their work cut out for them, because this Reds club is not going to quit. And it was evidenced by way back when Ramon Hernandez hit that line drive against this ball club down the right field line in Houston to come back and win a ball game.
Runner breaks for the plate, throw to the plate, and out at the plate, Jay Bruce. So Gonzalez and Rosales fail to bring in a runner from third with less than 2 outs, and they're 2 away in the inning.
And Dusty is all over Jay Bruce right there. Doesn't matter if you've hit 2 home runs and you got a triple on the day. On a play like that, you got to slide at home plate.
Now Ryan Hannigan, 2 hits and 3 at bats tonight.
All of those good things that we were talking about earlier, they go back to not letting yourself fall into bad habits. And that's one of the reasons, the first thing that Dusty said to Jay Bruce as he came in, you got to slide. If you slide, you got a chance.
And I tell you, you got to give Dusty Baker a lot of the credit for the way this team has mentally approached the game day in and day out. He's had a lot of guys that have been hurt. Some key guys that have missed substantial periods of playing time. I mean, go all the way back to opening day when Willie Taveras suddenly comes down with a flu and is unavailable to play in that opening series and the next series after that. You go right on through the team. Edwin Encarnacion out at least for a couple of months. Going back to the 3rd week of April, Alex Gonzalez missed nearly 2 weeks at short. Chris Dickerson got off to a terrible start. Lance Nick steps in for him. Bruce has struggled. off and on most of the year. Phillips has been out recently. You know about Votto. He's missed the better part of 3 weeks.
But I think the coaching staff, along with Dusty, has made it and continued to make it a point to these players that this is what happens in baseball. But you don't quit. You don't say, oh, woe is us, bummer, our starting guys are hurt. This is your chance to play. Go get it done.
On Hannigan, and there's a walk.
I can assure you that guy that they just showed standing on the steps, Chris Spire, he ain't gonna feel sorry for you. I don't care if your whole 9, you're starting 9 and can't play. He's not gonna feel sorry for you. He's been down that road.
You look at Brooke Jacoby.
Yeah,
a guy who, in this Reds offense couldn't hit anybody in the month of April. Let's not forget that. I mean, through all the things we've talked about here, this was a Reds offense that ranked among the bottom in the National League in runs scored. Now, they're not going to be the New York Yankees. They're not going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers from an offensive standpoint this year. But here in the month of May, they have been a much better offensive club, with the lone exception of the 3-game series in San Diego.
And that's when they got away from what they do best, and that is putting base runners on base and forcing the defense to make plays.
Nice round of applause by Arroyo as he steps in there.
It just seems as though every time a Reds batter comes to the plate, we talked so much about the Lance Nix ABs earlier, the Joey Votto ABs, and Jerry Hairston's ABs. I think you're starting to see Reds hitters see more pitches. The more pitches you see, the better chance you have to put the ball in play with some authority, and that gives you a better chance to get a hit. And that means you don't go up there and step down the third baseline and try to jack it up into the upper deck. It means you stay on the ball, you inside out the ball, line drives up the middle and the other way. Home runs will come.
1-2 on Bronson Arroyo. Getting over. Reds tack on a run. Arroyo will take the ball in the ninth, trying to close out this 6-1 lead and complete the series sweep. Spectacular post-game fireworks display. The next one Friday, June the 5th, after the Reds and the Cubs, presented by PNC. For tickets to every Reds game, call 513-381-REDS or go to reds.com. Bronson Arroyo, 6 career complete games. His last came against this Houston team on August the 26th of last year in a 2-1 win. He has a 6-1 lead here tonight. Arroyo trying to become the leading winner among all pitchers in the National League. He was tied at 6 going into this game tonight. And trying to pick up number 7. He's 3 outs away from doing just that. Breaking ball in there, a strike. The other 6 game winners: Derek Lowe of Atlanta, Johan Santana of the Mets. And he's been knocked out of his game tonight. Or at last check, it's still a 5-3 game. We'll have to check on that again. Jason Marquis of Colorado has won 6 games. And Ohio native Chad Billingsley of the Dodgers has won 6 games. Over in the American League, you've got Zach Greinke of Kansas City, who has 8 wins. And the great Roy Halladay of Toronto has 8 wins. Into left field, they have Bourne played perfectly, and Nick Cesaire for out number 1.
Tell you what, you look at both of the corner outfielders, Jay Bruce and Lance Nix, they get some phenomenal jumps on the ball. That's off a left-handed bat, tailing away towards the line, and Nix makes that catch look like cakewalk.
Throw Dickerson in there. He had a rough couple of weeks to start the year, but he is a very good defender.
I think he just tried to do too much.
Yep.
And I think now he's starting to realize that his talent is just good. It's good enough to play up here. It's just a matter of just going out there and playing.
Now Miguel Tejada. Diving Rosales into the left field corner, and that will extend the hitting streak to 11 straight games for Tejada. He gets a hit in his 4th and more than likely his final at bat of the night.
Hannigan wanted that pitch inside, and they got it middle in. But for Tejada, that's a good pitch to hit. You got to get that ball right in on the inside corner to get him to change his swing. They got Berkman on the double play last time. Hairston to Gonzalez to Votto. Be a heck of a way to end this thing.
The last time the Reds swept the Houston Astros in a 3-game series here in Cincinnati. Got to go back to September of 2000. You're talking about a club who, until the last series when the Reds ended that Houston 11-game win streak, this was a team that had just dominated the Reds in this ballpark. Berkman a fly ball to center, and now the Astros are down to their final out of the night. But Bronson Arroyo, again a story here. The crowd anticipating the game's final out, a complete game for Arroyo to cap off a 3-game sweep, and again to repeat. You go back to June the 24th when he got banged around for 10 runs in Toronto in an inning on the mound. And Roy Halladay is the only pitcher in baseball with more wins since then than Bronson Arroyo. Ball 1 to Carlos Lee. Pulled foul. Since 1920, the Reds have had only 17 starting pitchers reach the 7-win mark through games of May the 27th in a year. Now, Edinson Volquez did it last season, but only 6 pitchers have done that over the last 30 years. So here's Arroyo on the 27th of May, an out away from win number 7 on the year. closer to Gonzalez, and the Reds sweep the Astros 3 in a row. They finish the homestand at 6-3. Bronson Arroyo is the National League's leading winner with number 7. And the Reds match their season high, going to